Krista Russo, the queen of all mortgages. How you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm so glad to be here. It's always an honor to hang with the great Carl White.
Hey, well, so we got a couple things we could talk about.
We do.
So we could talk about, um, hey, let's talk about the ladies in lending new podcast that you're doing.
Yes,
So,
I am so excited about the Ladies on Lending podcast for multiple reasons. It is a platform of inspirational success stories from women in the industry, and it's empowerment. I like to say there's strategies in it for everyone as well. A really good place. I'm loving it, and it's brand new.
all right, so this is for ladies in mortgage by ladies in mortgage,
Yes.
primarily directed to the loan officer.
Yes.
All right. And, so I'm going to take a risk here and just talk without my filter on. And so let's talk about the glass ceiling that we hear about. So um, I have to tell you, I personally have never seen it uh, with myself. I shouldn't say of course, but I haven't seen it with myself, or I haven't seen it with. I've never seen it happen to somebody. But you, as a lady, might come from a different perspective. Do you feel like you've experienced a glass ceiling, or have you seen other people? Like, is that a real thing, or is it just something that sounds like a real thing? So let's just have an open
No, yeah.
discussion.
Unfortunately, I think it is a real thing. And I recently was just talking to someone on the podcast who experienced that, and the stories are really touching because, we've come leaps and bounds since I've started in the industry. But yes, I absolutely still think that there is some of that going on.
So how do you? So the ladies that you've seen, and if somebody wants to, well, not if,
Yes.
when you're ready to go listen to an episode, just whatever platform you listen to this on, it's likely there also. I think it's on 27 different platforms, including iTunes and Stitcher and iHeart, uh,
Spotify.
Spotify, all the usual suspects, and just go ladies in lending, and it's ladies in lending because it's ladies in lending, right?
Lending.
So yeah, so have you talked with some ladies that have busted through the glass ceiling, and like how do they do it, or they tried but this kind of held them back? Like what?
Yes.
Give me,
Yes.
like, let's talk about it.
So that is one of my favorite parts about what I'm getting to be a part of because I am watching women who have started from the bottom. And when I say bottom, they knew nothing about mortgages. They got into it, a lot of them by accident or because of an experience that they had. And they were stopped by the glass ceilings, and in one word, the best way to describe it is perseverance.
Mm.
Um, I got to speak with somebody the other day, and she said failure was not an option. It wasn't an option, and the story was really touching because I get motivated by this. I'm not exempt from this. I love hearing people's stories about how they started somewhere, and even though they kept hearing no, they were determined to not stop. And in what we do, that's part of the business. We hear no all the time. It's the power of one. And these stories, while I love them and they're motivating, there are strategies that you can apply to as women and men to go beyond the ceiling that you've created for yourself. Go beyond the negative words and connotations that you put in your head. It's not just motivation. It is things that you can implement to increase your business, your productivity, your community. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, so I have seen, it seems to me that sometimes I think ladies, at least in what I've seen, are actually overrepresented in the top producers. Because I don't know what the exact stats are. I wasn't sure of our topic until we clicked the record button, because that's how
Right.
we just have conversations, and sometimes one of us says, "Hey, click the record button. Let's put this one on tape." So that's kind of what happened here. Uh, but I don't know what the percentage of ladies versus men are in the loan officer world. In fact,
I was
I'm
going to
gonna.
say, last time I checked, I thought it was in the 40% for women. But I know you're going to tell me, and now we all want to know.
All right. So, what percent? I'm going to Chat GPT. What percent of loan officers are women? And it's searching. Interesting. It's pretty close. It's 44.7% women, 55.3% men. Wait, that doesn't add up. So while men make up, I guess. Oh no, that adds up. That adds up. So it's 44.7 women and 55.3 men. So pretty close to being 50-50 though. But you know what? I'm sitting here looking, and part of its answer came up, and it said women's representation diminishes in higher level positions, with only 32.5% being female in management positions. So you know what? That's I get there is a the glass ceiling,
Glass ceiling. Yeah.
because like when I look at our group of loan officers, which pretty much I think is every state in the nation, is part of in our group. We have a large group of top producing loan officers. Most of the top producers are women. So
I know.
that I know.
That's right. Well, and over here at Success, we have a lot of women leaders in our organization. Most of them are. Now, that wasn't by design. That just happened. They were
No,
the most
it's designed by you
them.
guys, you
Yeah.
ladies, because like I'm thinking, like off the top of my head, I'm thinking like Amy DeBusk, is doing really well. Yahira Garcia rised up in the ranks really super fast. Brittany Bobs just absolutely crushing it. Who else? Michelle McDonald is another great story. Debbie Kraft, another great story. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, they're definitely they're definitely overrepresented in the top producers. So it's I find it interesting, like with the glass ceiling thing, as far as like management, but yet in the actual producing of loans, um,
It's
you guys are kicking the guys' butts. I'm just like, really, you are. You're kicking. So and I can tell you something else. I think generally a top producing loan officer makes more money than their manager does, right?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is common. Like we see it in the training business over here. The salespeople make more money than the managers, and I think like even in the car industry, the or you take a real estate office, the realtors actually doing the business make way more money than the real estate manager, agent manager does. So
Well, and one thing that you said, I want to get this across too, is, while we're doing Ladies in Lending, which is a platform for, hearing these stories and empowerment and so forth, there one's not better than the other. That is not our goal out of Ladies in Lending. It is,
you're just kicking our butt.
yeah,
That's all.
I mean, that
We're
just
not better than
happens
others, but
naturally.
Carl, we are wiping the floor with you guys.
No, but I mean, honestly, it's really just that there are differences between men and women. And what we as women naturally carry, it's just, there's just differences. And that's really, we're just trying to work through those differences and talk about it and inspire people. Because I will tell you, for me, being a single mother, two children, trying to make the bills, make dinner, do homework, do all of these things, it was really, really challenging. And just to give a little hint here, my daughter will be on a future podcast with me to kind of talk about that. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And had I known then what I know now, which is really my passion to help women in this industry do things differently, and I would 100% do it a little bit differently, and I want to give them those tools. And a lot of it I've learned from surrounding myself with people like yourself. So having a community, doing time management, making the calls early in the morning before my day gets away from me, and just a lot of structure and community. And that's really where my passion lies in this, because and those are strategies for everyone, but I know what that life is like, and I know that there's a way to make money, the money that you desire, while working less and still creating your dreams and desires. So I know it's possible, and I want to be a part of seeing other women and men doing those things.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. So I have to tell you that I do think that that the podcast is really for everybody. I know you said something, I think, a little earlier that that you talked about that you're going to be giving inspirational stories and empowerment and a community, for the ladies, but practical strategies for everybody. So I love the
Yes.
way that that, and frankly, as a man, I've been enjoying the episodes too, just to to learn from it, not just the strategies that's for everybody, but for the gosh, what's the right way to say it? Just to kind of read the instruction manual, so to speak, of
I would
working
say
with
it's
a
like a
lady.
cheat sheet. It's like a cheat
Yeah,
sheet.
yeah, like a cheat sheet of working with the ladies, that it is different, right? We are different. God made us different, in my belief. God made us
Yeah.
different. Not everybody, because there's all different variations, but we're just talking about as a general rule, right? The 80% thing, right,
Right.
is that we are different. We come from different places. And I'm really looking forward to the conversations that you're having with these other ladies about the unique challenges that you have. And I would say, and I tell you the one that I have seen like a lot, and boy, my hat's off to you, is I think the ladies, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, wear a lot more hats than the guys do. Because not
Yes.
only are you a loan officer, many of you, not all of you, but many are mothers, right? Many are wives or partners. I know in my household, the lovely Mrs. White, she's in charge of the finances, right? So I've always been pretty good at making it, and she's always been fantastic at managing it. And so while we talk about our investments, we talk about that together as far as like the budgeting and paying the bills and what we're buying this month and what we need to wait until next month. 100% that's what she does. So which is a big hat, so
Oh,
and
yeah.
with all the, when she gets the credit card, goes line by line to make sure everything's in check, and managing our Amazon account, which is impressive.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
listen, I was gonna say those who know you know what a heart you have. So wrangling you in, I that's a full-time job. I mean,
that is,
hats off to
yeah.
Maria. And those that know her, she is a lot to do with the business behind the scenes,
Oh,
on the mortgage marketing animals.
huge. I could have never done this without her because she's the one that made it financially possible.
Right.
Frankly, to make sure all the bills were paid, that we have a plus 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 credit score. That on the lending side, we're in good shape there. And frankly, on the being able to pull credits and our own credit, to have our own credit score, a spotless, would definitely would definitely not have happened without
It's
her. I've just never been good at that part. So anyway, but the multiple hats, boy, that would just be so. I tell you, I did something that I think every father should do. I played Miss. So many moons ago, I was going for my master's degree, and her work started before my school did. And so, give or take, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, I did the Mr. Mom thing. And so we went ahead and moved up to South Carolina, where I did my master's at University of South Carolina in anesthesia or chemistry. Oddly enough, that's a whole other story. But anyway, so the job that she needed to take said, "We need you right now. We can't wait 4 months." And it was such a great job. They were going to pay the rent on our house and paid her a great income to afford her to be the sole breadwinner. So we moved up there, and my school didn't start. So I was Mr. Mom, and we only had at the time one child. And boy, that was
It's
hard. And I didn't have a job, Krista. So I was literally,
yeah.
I was waiting. I was in between, getting ready to start school. So I didn't pick up a part-time job or anything. And man, it was hard. Like it was right. And to have, like in your case, two and a job, and like in my case, I was doing the ironing, the cooking, the cleaning up, making sure she had gas in her car for the next day when she drove back and forth to work, like all that, just taking care of everything except the bills. She still stayed in control of that, right? That's with great wisdom on both of our parts.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it gave me an appreciation like I've never had before of what that's like. And I still had a full time partner, Maria, to have nobody other than just me doing it by myself. Uh, I don't know how you do it. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm being dead
It's
serious. So
but
I love listening
it's
to those stories.
I do too. Well, and it is such a gift. And so that's how I always looked at it. But there were days that, you're sleeping 2 hours or your kid gets sick. And I actually was just telling my daughter this when she was young, I had gotten let go from a job because she was sick. And you could only be out 2 times in a year. I was super young before I even got into the mortgage space, and I she was like, "Really? That's what they?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I had nobody else to rely on." So those kind of challenges we deal with, and we have to figure out. So
Yeah,
um, but like everything that happens in life, it is an opportunity to grow and to that's how I kind of look at things is opportunities. That
yeah.
just if I can't go over it, I got to figure out a way around it or under it or
Yeah, I love listening to the success stories. Like Sue Meitner, just a super powerhouse up in the Pennsylvania area. I
yes.
love that lady. Like, she's like me. She's a bull in a china shop, and I just love that about her. Right, I love her take charge, and so anyway, so I've really been enjoying the episode. So it's a really cool thing that you did. And hey, and I want to publicly give a good thanks to Owen Lee.
Yes.
He's the one that underwrote this because which means he wrote the check to make it happen. And so he's not involved in the process at all. It's 100% ladies in lending, led by ladies. He just underwrote it because there's work that has to be doing a podcast isn't like many people think you just click a button, record, and post it, and it's done. Like
There's so much more to
there's
that.
so much
Yes.
more there, and there's the marketing and the putting it up on the different the different platforms, and then getting the word out is not a cheap thing to do. And so big thanks for Owen Lee of Success Mortgage Partners for underwriting this, and for you, my friend, for being one of the leaders to make it happen. I think it's long overdue. I don't think there's another that I know of. I think this is the podcast in the mortgage industry, to my
Yes.
knowledge, right there. I don't mean no disrespect anybody, but I Googled it. I didn't see anything by anybody where it's ladies specific, and I thought, well, that it seems like there should be. So good for you for doing it, my friend.
Well, and I will say, Carl, hats off to you too, because you've always liked to push me outside of my comfort zone, and I love that about you, because you and you do this with most people that you meet. It's like you see something and you're like, go after it, go get it, make the circle bigger, do whatever you got to do, and you pushed me outside of my comfort zone and have believed in me. So has Owen and Kevin and my boss, Teresa. I am extremely blessed to be a part of something that's going to impact and inspire a lot of women and hopefully men as well.
Yeah, I like it too. They just The men are welcome, but there's a special section for them in the back.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, and they're in charge of bringing in the food and the beverage. They're in charge of making sure that you guys are comfortable. So I love it. So no, really, I think it's great what you're doing. So ladies in lending, or you could go to, if you go to ladiesinlendingpodcast.com,
Yes.
there's a landing page there, but probably the best place to see it is on whatever platform you're watching this on. Do it there, subscribe there. That way you get push notifications every time an episode is doing. So I know y'all, you've got like about 6 episodes uploaded up so far. Is this a thing you're
Yes.
doing like once a week, or is that kind of the plan?
It's probably going to start off about 2 a month, and we'll gradually get up there to doing once a week. I would like to see that, especially during the first quarter. This is what I would call, our soft launch, and we're going to continue to grow this. And excited to get involved with more women in the industry, hear stories. If people are interested in that too, they can absolutely reach out to me at krusso@smprate.com. I would love to talk to them.
All right, let's make sure everybody heard that, cause so if you're on here and a lady, right?
Yes.
If you're on here and a lady, that and you want to be on the podcast, or you have a suggestion for an episode, or you know of somebody that would be a good addition to the podcast, connect with Krista and give that email one more time, a little slower.
Okay, it is KRUSSO@smprate.com.
So K Russo, so K the letter K, Russo at SMP rate, like a mortgage rate,
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Sounds good. So good stuff. Hey, thanks again for what you're doing. I appreciate you. You're just an awesome individual. It's an absolute honor to work with you. And
You
I
too.
love watching you make things happen. So good for you, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you.